We've seen that the Trump administration is not using war on drugs rhetorically. It's not a metaphor. Where we've seen foreign terrorist organization designations against Mexican cartels. We see the repeated attacks on ships in the Caribbean and the Pacific, allegedly because of drug trafficking.
Again, how one goes about it is the important issue. So China was the country that on the first day, along with Mexico and Canada, very surprisingly, Canada were signaled out as places to have tariffs related to fentanyl and migration mixed together, imposed on them. We also had the designation of drug trafficking groups as foreign terrorist organizations. Those were radical shifts in US policy. And of course, the even more radical aspect is now lethal actions against drug trafficking, allegedly drug trafficking entities that are designated as foreign terrorist organizations, of which there are at least 13 or 14 at this state. So we heard Representative Smith talking about some of the implications and some of the questions. I think there is a massive questions about the efficacy of those attacks. Are they meant to deter criminal groups? I'm skeptical that they will work. Are they meant to stop the flow of drugs? We know for sure that's not going to work. Are they meant to intimidate the Venezuelan military to stop support for Maduro so that the regime breaks and Maduro and set of people around him leave? I'm skeptical that will work, but we can have that conversation perhaps in Q&A. But there are big implications we haven't talked about. So it is up to the executive branch to designate the group as a foreign terrorist organization. It appears now that in the scale of the 12, 13, 14 groups that have been designated, any criminal group that uses psychological intimidation or violence can be designated as a foreign terrorist organization. And the Trump administration is saying that they are now a valid target for lethal action.
But does FTO designation give them the authority for lethal action as opposed to financial restrictions and sanctions?
I would say it doesn't, but the Trump administration says it does. And it is also relying on Article 2, self-defense, and the ability to act without having congressional authorization. So they're specifically saying that because we are at war with the cartels, that gives them lethal ability without congressional declaration of war.
So real quick, before we move on, did you guys notice how many times she said allegedly when she was talking about the Venezuelan narco terrorists and being the targets?
Yes, you guys. These people are just making money. They're not, they're just, this is what they do to make money. They're not criminals. They're just selling drugs and moving drugs because they're paid to do so.
Allegedly.
Well, allegedly. And I think we actually have a sitting congressman saying exactly that these are people who are just out there making a living. That's it. I am absolutely astonished that someone who considers themselves a foreign policy expert sitting at the Brookings Institute is clearly defending narco terrorists, clearly making an argument that, nah, you're not going to be able to stop them. They're going to get away with whatever they want to get away with. We shouldn't even bother trying. It's almost like she's telling the Trump administration, yeah, they're going to do it whether you like it or not. This is stunning video that shows you how invested these people are in making sure that the drug traffic continues to flow.